I break engines because I don't know why the fuck I break engines. So my name is Brigita. I am originally from Lithuania, but I grew up in Ireland. I came to Ireland when I was, I think, 6 years old. So we moved to Ireland because my dad, he's a mechanic. He opened his own garage. That's the thing where my, not love, but like when my introduction to cars started. Since a very young age, I remember having car parts at home, which my mom would get really frustrated about. But even when I was small, I would play with toys with fucking car parts, which my dad would bring home. I do understand the parts. I understand how the car runs and stuff like that. I was always the one that's left out of the girls because I really did find an interest in cars from a very young age. My brother was into cars. My dad explained a lot of stuff to us. When I was a child, me and my brother used to play Need for Speed and GTA, right? I used to love that game, but in like Need for Speed, I love those modified cars. Like I would always make my car pink. I used to love it, the GTRs, and it's a very vivid childhood memory playing those games. GTA, I used to love to just drive. You know when you can switch the screens to like, you can change from the outside of the car and the inside of the car, when you can see the dashboard. I used to just like to drive with the console, just like driving. It's very nice. Then later on, our parents bought us the racing steering wheel with the pedals and the steering wheel, and that was the first time I drove a car, you know, actually playing those games. And I remember playing the games though. They used to be so cool. I used to love racing, beating my brother, not on the game, actually beating him when he used to win. Used to be good memories. Then I started driving before it was legal to drive. I would go to my dad's garage, like he would ask me to park the cars around or switch the places. I got my license immediately. I turned 17. In Ireland, the legal age to drive is 17. But one big disadvantage is how expensive the insurance is, especially for young drivers. So my first car, my parents gave it to me for my 18th birthday. It was a Mark IV Golf. It's a 1.4 engine. It was petrol, manual. It was one of the first times it was my own car. But I wanted to drive so much, so I would get in my Golf, sit by the gym with the music on, still like chill in the car, come back, again chill in the car, and then drive 3 minutes back home. I would spend more time in the car than in the gym probably. My first memory of a Golf is my parents bought a Mark IV as well. I think it was in 2008 maybe. It was a 2001 Golf Mark IV, I think, right? So my dad pimped it up. He put alloys, he tinted the windows, he chipped it, and we drove that car to Lithuania. So it's a 4-day journey, and we drove it on the Autobahn. It was quite a journey, but I always remember that. And I remember when we back to Lithuania, the Golf Mark IV was quite a new car then, and my dad had it all done up, like he had the brake lights. It looked very cool. I thought my dad looks badass. I want to look like that. When I first started driving, I was not a good driver at first. I really thought, I'm not embarrassed to say that. Anyway, so I drive up to this parking, and there's like quite a high footpath, and my car was a bit lowered, so I drive up. I just drove to the shop next door. I get out, do my stuff, come back in. I drive back home. I get out of the car. I look at the car, and there's no front bumper. I'm like, what? What the hell? I get back in the car. I drive to the parking, and there's the front bumper standing there. My dad is gonna kill me. That's so stupid, but it happens to all of us. I was always a German car kind of girl because I think it comes from my parents. My parents always drove Audis, BMWs, Golfs. I have very bad luck with cars. I don't know why. All my cars broke. The only good thing is that I can always run to my dad. Dad, fix my car, fix my car. On my first car, the engine blew, and I was devastated. Like, it was my first car, you know, my first baby. It's a car that I really like, I really enjoy. Anyway, the engine blew. I had to drive my mom's car. I think I blew the engines on the 4 cars. One was the Golf. The second one again was the Golf, but later on in life. Then the third one was the Passat, also the blue, and then a Renault Clio. I break engines because I don't know why the fuck I break engines. Okay, so I started working with MoTeC in March 2018. On my first day of work, my manager says, okay, you're getting a company car. I'm like, yes, nice, company car. And I'm thinking, okay, I work for MoTeC. It must be like something cool, something nice. Even though I'm so grateful for it, a little silver Yaris rolls up. I'm like, okay, fine, a car, I'm in Dubai, I'm just starting off. Okay, no worries, it's fine. So the manager tells me the car's outside. I go outside, the car rolls up, a little Yaris. automatic. I sit in the car, and the recovery that bought me the car, he's like, oh, Madame, do you know how to drive? Like, yeah, I know how to drive a car. Not this. I can't drive an automatic. I never sat in an automatic in my life before. Anyway, so I'm just like starting to drive the car. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to press. He's like, Madam, are you sure you know how to drive a car? I'm like, yes, I know how to drive a car. So he shows me D and you go. He's like, yeah, that's it. Go. Yalla, get out of here. So I think my turning point in getting my dream car was at the Motorsport Expo in Dubai. I was representing MoTeC, and also there was a few customers that came by, some people that I've never met before, just talking with people, and someone asks me, oh, you know, so you work for motorsport, are you into it or just a job? I said, no, I love it. I really like it. So, oh, okay, fine, so what kind of cars do you like? I told him what kind of cars I like, what I don't like. Okay, so what do you drive? And I think that there was my turning point when I said, oh, I drive a company car, Yaris. And I was standing there, I was like, fuck, I have to get a Golf. I have to do it. And then a few months passed or so. There was this really dark moment where I missed my family, I missed home. And my brother just had a baby, you know, and it's just like the family's growing and I'm not there for it. And it was really sad moment. Like I thought maybe, fuck it, I'll just go home and just see what happens. But I really didn't want to quit what I'm building here, you know, like I'm really building a career in motorsport, which is something that I never thought I would do. It's not just that you sit behind the counter and you're selling, you actually know this, and I can give advice to people, and it keeps burning up and you keep wanting more and more, and so I thought, you know what, I'll buy a car. I went to Ireland for a few weeks for vacation, just to say hi to my family and stuff, and even though I came back, I still felt a bit empty, and I need something, and next week I had my car. I cannot explain this feeling that when I see the car, it's standing there, and it's mine, and I worked so hard for it, and it just means so much. And yes, when I got the car, I felt happy, and not to say it's materialistic, it's not, because it means a lot to me, you know. It's not just, oh, I have an expensive car. It's really not. It's who I am, you know, and even now I understand the car. Like I can drive the car properly, and the car just completes me. I was completely like out of this world happy. I cannot explain it to anybody. Whoever has their dream car, they know. They really know. When I first got my car, like I want to go cruise down Jumeirah Street. That's what they all do, right? So I think it was like Wednesday night, quite quiet. You know, I'm driving. I'm just by myself. My first time I got the car. I want to drive it. I think I was driving until like 4 in the morning or something. And then there's like all these guys that are pulling up like in the next lane. They're like this. Let's go. I'm like, oh man, this is my first time. I don't know. Like I haven't even pushed the car yet properly. I shouldn't. I'm like, okay, let's go. I put the car in paddle shift, in the manual. So I'm driving first gear, the RPM goes up, second gear, I'm driving quick. And then there's a taxi driver, pulls in like in front of me, right? The guy behind me is like flashing me to stop. Thank God I stopped, but that moment right there and then, like it was like the car, like I stopped to the taxi driver. It was maybe like a foot, like it was like this much. Imagine the first time you get your car, the first day you crash it, right? I was in sweats then, like I was like shocked. But that was the first time I ever push the car properly on the road, and then I just like, no, I have to go home now, that's it. But there's nothing crazy, but for me that was a very live in the moment kind of thing, where like your adrenaline levels are, there's this rush. I can't explain it. It was the biggest rush I ever felt, even more than the accidents that I had, you know. And so fast forward to like a few days ago, one customer comes in and he starts talking, just starts chatting about stuff, and he's like, so what car do you drive? And I finally get to say, I drive a Golf R, not any Golf, a Golf R, you know. It's the dream, like it's something I thought I could never afford, but fuck it, you only live once, right? You need it. I chose the Golf, I think because it was the first car that I ever learned how to drive. I think I have that little connection to it, that's why. It's very different to the Golf I drive now, and just because of the gearbox. It's okay. I have a DSG now, it's quite cool, I know what it does. It's amazing, the gearbox, the transmission is very good, but I do miss the third pedal. Since I bought my new car, I made an Instagram page for it, and immediately there's some people from the VolksWagen UAE that they have a group here in Dubai, and they added me and stuff, and I spoke to the guys. They're very nice. They all have their own Golfs, and it's just this little passion we all share. It's nice, but my car is still very quite stock. I think I want to modify my car first. I know, you know, and the thing about it is that, again, I worked so hard for this car. I've saved, you know, many years to get this car, and I decided to go with warranty. I know you're against that, and you're the only person that's telling me fuck the warranty. You need to put a downpipe on it. So I think maybe you talked me into it. Maybe I'll just do one last service after, and then I'll destroy my baby.
Fight back.